morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Lunch in the Field. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Megan Moorman. I am also teaching at Westville High School with Rachel, and I'm taking over today for our visit this morning. So I'm headed out to see another placement SAE. Actually, 2 of our officers, they're going to be seniors this year, but this SAE is a little bit unique. This will be our first animal SAE, but it's not a traditional livestock project. We're gonna go out and see Dominck and Ashley this morning at their job at First Seasons, which is a dog boarding and grooming facility. So come along and let's go check out what Dominck and Ashley are doing. So tell me who you are, where are we, and kind of how did you get this started in this SAE project?
My name's Ashley and Dominck. I work at the First Seasons Orient. It's by Started RV and 5 Points Pike. I found out about this job because someone in my Spanish class worked there, and I mean, I've always loved animals, and I heard her talking about it. And so I applied August last year, and I've been working here ever since.
My name is Dominic Bush, and I found out this job because of Ashley. And it's kind of close to my house. I think it's about 5 minutes, so it's kind of close. And I wanted to get a job, and I work with livestock and everything because I show at the fair, so I knew how to handle animals. And I mean, handling dogs and pigs are kind of similar, but there's a lot of different things I had to learn when I first started working here. But yeah, I really like this job, and it's pretty good. I think the biggest thing that I've had to adapt to is like bigger dogs, because I'm not used to bigger dogs. And I remember when I first started working here, there was a dog that just doesn't like men, so that was kind of my problem. And I just started to work with her, and eventually she likes me. But that took a while.
Not all dogs are nice. I've gotten bit. It was my fault, but it's definitely something you learn. You have to be very observant of the dogs and how they act and how they're feeling.
So tell me a little bit about like the safety. What precautions do you take to keep both you and the dogs safe?
Well, we make sure when the dogs come, we make sure to ask the owners, like if they're okay with other dogs, if they're okay with like men, because usually some dogs, a lot of dogs usually aren't really good with men, so we make sure to ask that just in case, just for like Dominic's safety and for if any male comes in and messes with the dogs. We make sure that they have, like when they come in, they have leashes on, just in case there's another dog in here, we can hurry up and pull them apart because they're leashed, and then we keep the dogs in separate kennels, and we test dogs, like if we're doing groups to let outside, we make sure to test the dogs, like if there's a new dog, we put them on a leash and let them like sniff all the other dogs and see if they're okay, and if they don't like them, we take them out of the group and then try with another, and if they're not okay with any group, then we put them by themselves.
We also make sure for our safety that we just be slow with the dogs, because sometimes the dogs are kind of scared and skittish, so we just make sure we're really slow, let them get used to us before we start being all nice to them.
Yeah, and you have to be really observant, and like if you can sense that like a dog's a little scared, just try to get on their level, just because, I mean, we're so much taller than them that they can get overwhelmed with us hovering over them, so we try to get on their level. We just try to speak nice to them and not like yell as much as possible. Sometimes we have to yell because they're messing around. Crazy.
So what does a normal day look like for you?
Well, it depends from morning and evenings. Mornings, we usually come in at 7, and then we start letting dogs out for breakfast, and we sweep each pen just every single day, just so it's easier when we prep sweeps. So there's not as much buildup like dirt and hair and all that stuff. And then we feed and water them, and then we let them back inside. And then we scoop poop, and then we fill up either both the pools and the water bowls outside in each playground, or just the water bowls if it's like rainy like today, or if it's snowy outside. We usually just we take the pools inside in the winter time. And then we like help around if like any of the groomers need help, like taking dogs outside or prepping sweets for incoming dogs and moving dogs around so that a dog has a kennel if they're like aggressive or something. We just make sure that we're prepared for the dogs coming in. But I've learned that not all dogs are nice, and that you need to really be observant and know how breeds act and how like certain dogs act, and just make sure you ask questions and don't always assume that a dog's gonna, be okay with other dogs, and just be very
Yeah, I've learned how to take care of dogs. I mean, I have my own dog, but it's a little different when you have a bunch of dogs boarding and a bunch of dogs that have different needs. And I know a bunch of dogs take medication, and I think that's one of the things I really had to learn how to do, because sometimes dogs don't want to take the medication, so you have to make them take it.
Yeah,
that was one of the things I struggled with, because I wasn't sure about, because grabbing the dog's mouth and everything, they have to take the medication. If they don't want to take it, you have to force them to take it. So that was one of the biggest things that I kind of struggled with working here when I first started.
Some advice for like people working in this field is, just like get a feel for animals, because not all dogs are going to be the same at all. Sometimes we get cats, and the cats are going to be the same. And you just have to be very observant.
And be slow with them, because that's one of the big things. They don't know you.
It's a new atmosphere, like they're not used to this. Sometimes a lot of dogs aren't used to all the loud noises, so that can really spook them. So you just have to be very gentle and caring, because you're taking care of them. If you don't take care of them, then they're not going to get taken care of. So you just have to be careful.
And you want to treat the dogs like you would treat your own dogs, because these are people's dogs, and they're trusting you to take care of them for however long they're gone. And a lot of the dogs come back. Like, we have a dog that comes here like about every other week, and so we really get used to them, and we really make sure that we give them all of them extra attention, because they're on their own way and they're trusting us to take care of them.
On a typical day, how many dogs are there usually here?
It really depends. Through like Monday through like Wednesday, it's really not that busy, but once it hits like Thursday, Friday, and then the weekends, it gets pretty busy.
I think the most we've had since I started working here, because I've been working here since March of this year, I think we've had 30 dogs back there, which that's quite a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
And I think the least we've had is probably about 5, but that was
through the summer, it gets really slow during the winter. Sometimes, like for evenings, I don't even come in until like 8 p.m. just to do like last out and like sweep them off everywhere. Just because not a lot of people go on vacation during the winter time. I remember there was one time there was just one dog here for like a couple of days by himself. But yeah, it usually depends on the season and stuff. It's really busy during summertime. We usually have dogs in every single kennel, and some in the salon and some in the daycare.
So tell me what you're doing right now.
So I'm putting in their waiver that we have, like new dogs week, or new dog sign and stuff. So it's like their address, their phone numbers for like pictures and emergencies, the dog's name, the collar, how old it is, the breed of it, and then the proceeding information.
All right, so what area are we in right now?
This is our biggest playground that we have. We have 3 playgrounds. Dominic's scooping poop right now, and I'm filling up the pools for the dogs to play in. And we also fill up bowls for each of the playgrounds. This is where we let the dogs out for like bathrooms and just for playtime and stuff. And for pictures, because we send pictures every single day for the families, just so they know that their dogs are doing okay.
How often do the dogs get to have playtimes?
Well, in the mornings they go out twice, which, and then they go out for afternoon let out, and then they go out at around like 6, and then they go back out around 8. But sometimes they go out more than that. It just depends.
How many dogs do you have out at a time?
It honestly just depends. There can be huge groups, and there can be groups of just one dog, or just like a group, like a family like group or whatever. It just depends, honestly, if the dogs get along and stuff.
Okay, so if you were to, you both are going to be seniors this year. So if you were to encourage younger members on how to get a job or how to find an SAE, what would you say to them?
I mean, I talked to my friends and looked around like local areas because I know there's a lot of farming out here, and I know there's a bunch of different places that are kind of local that would be good for an SAE. I mean, like I said, this was 5 minutes from my house. And
Small businesses are really the way to go when you're starting your first job, just because, I mean, they obviously care about your schedule, and they care about like your school and stuff, and they make sure to be like lenient around your hours and stuff, just because they understand. And it's not just like a big corporation. It's real people that actually care.
Okay, Ashley, I know that you just received your state degree this past spring. So do you want to tell us a little bit about kind of what is a state degree and how this job helped you with that, or why that was important to you? And Dominic, I know you're wanting to apply this coming year.
So I'm pretty sure that you had to have like 2,000 in your AAT for your state degree, and then you had to have like so many hours of working. And I had like, I think I had over 2,000 for this job, but I had more for another job. But and then I had quite a few hours here.
What kinds of jobs count for a state degree?
Like agriculture, animal jobs, like plant systems, really anything involving like ag.
Why do you both find value in the state degree?
I wanted to get my what's it called? American degree, and in order to get that, you have to get your state degree. I don't know. It's just an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And it looks good, and it sounds good for you too. So, and I mean, I met the requirements for the state degree now. It's just I didn't need it when school was down, but I do now. So it's I meet the requirements. I might as well push myself to do it.
Okay, so last question, just like a final pitch for why should people bring their dogs to see you all at First Seasons? And
I know that the dogs have a lot of fun, especially the dogs that get along with other dogs who can go out in groups and stuff and have playtime. It's a good way to socialize your animals with other dogs and other atmospheres and loud noises, and just like stimulate them and stuff, and basically have them learn. Basically, a lot of dogs, usually after coming a couple times, they're like ready. They get excited. They know when they're coming down the driveway that this is where they're coming to. And it's just the people that work here, they're by the dogs. It's not like we make sure that they get covered. We make sure that they get covered. So.
And we're not really a boring place. We also do grooming and stuff. I know it's been kind of hard to get scheduled in recently, but we do have a waiting list that you can call and try to get on.
I don't know if a lot of people know, but we actually do have daycare. So you can bring the dogs in like for the day. I think that's from when we opened to which is 6.
And we have two dogs today so far, and it's not 10 yet. So we'll still have dogs that come in today.